everybody, and welcome to the Fiserv Forum Quadrant of the Milwaukee Beer Review Wisconsin Beer Bracket here in 2023. As always, I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
And we have our wonderful friend Tyler here from Nosy Neighbor Brewing Company out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, who's going to help us get through this quadrant of the bracket, which is a unique one.
Yeah.
To say the least. So we've got 4 different Wisconsin breweries here that are going to be battling it out for supremacy to get to the final round of the bracket. And let's dive right in. So, Ross, what are we starting with?
So the first beer we have in the Russian River Brewing growler is actually from Perspective, which is a relatively new brewery in the last year in West Allis. So it's their black IPA called MKE2. Comes in about 6.5%. And then next to it, going up against, we have Fermentorium's Brilliant Moonlight. This is a Belgian stout, which is a new style to the three of us here. This is actually just released in Infirmatorium in the last couple of hours today, which is the 25th, right? Yeah, 25th of February.
25th of February.
So that's the first matchup. So why don't we get a little nose on the MKE2 out of Perspective.
The MKE2.
So definitely getting more like porter vibes out of this one. Got that kind of smokiness. Doesn't really have that hoppiness you kind of expect out of IPAs. More of that smokiness, robustness coming out.
Yeah, definitely a lack of bitterness. If you told me this was a porter on the nose, I wouldn't argue with you. Mm-hmm. Pretty standard porter characteristics off the nose on this beer. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of roast smell and malt-derived aromas. Not really much on the nose as far as hops. So
Yep.
it'll be interesting how it tastes.
Let's check it out. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Yeah, a little bit more bitterness on the palate than there is on the nose, but I would say it falls in line pretty well with a standard porter. Not a lot of crazy hop characteristics. It's definitely got some bitterness there that wouldn't be in a traditional porter. But again, similar to the nose, if you told me this was a porter, I would believe you. I wouldn't even question it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said is accurate. It still falls in line closer to the porter, but there's that slight more bitterness coming through. It's subtle, but it's there to kind of give it a little bit of an IPA feeling to it. But it's definitely got more of those porter vibes, that robust, that smokiness that's kind of coming through.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's got the flavor and the smokiness of kind of that porter or American stout, a little thinner in body, so probably more along the porter line. But I will say it doesn't have like any fruity hop notes, which sometimes black IPAs might have. This one has more of like that, as it kind of finishes and it's sitting there, it's kind of giving me more of actually like a grapefruit kind of citrusy, little bit grassiness. But
Interesting.
I will say that the malt flavors are smooth. It's not acidic because of the malt or dark grains. It's not harsh or anything like that. It's very smooth. It's just got a nice bitter finish on it.
It is very smooth, creamy. A black IPA I'd be willing to drink, which is a rare one.
On record.
On record.
All right, so moving on then to Fermentorium's Brilliant Moonlight, again, which is a Belgian stout, which I think we're all excited about because we've never had this style. It's new. It's a brand new beer today. So I'm excited to kind of see what this tastes like. So let's get a little nose on it.
To the nose.
So on the nose, definitely leans much closer to the Belgian than I would say the stout style. You get some of that like cloviness is kind of coming through. Some of the traditional like Belgian characteristics are really shining through. Not really anything from a stout standpoint that's shining through there.
I agree. The yeast is the star of the show on this beer. Those traditional sweet, dark roast characters of a stout are not prominent on the nose. The yeast is definitely playing the star here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. The only thing I would add to is visually, you can kind of tell it's lighter in color. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it'll look on the camera, but you can see through it. It's almost like a brownish red hue, and so it's probably not overly thick or sweet. But yeah, definitely you got the banana and clove yeast character is what's shining through on the nose. So,
All right, let's check it out.
Cheers.
yeah,
Cheers. Interesting.
So everything you're getting on the nose, you're getting on the palate as well. It's good. It's weird though because it almost like stops short. It's just like there's a finish that isn't there for me. That I really wish maybe that clove or the banana would come through a little bit more in the back end. It's just not there. But the flavors you get are really good and they're really tasty.
Interesting. It's almost like it. There's almost no stout characteristics here. Like there is some dark roast. The dark malts are kind of there, but it's almost like, I don't want to say it this way, but it's almost kind of like a Belgian double gone wrong a little bit. Like it, the characteristics of that are there, but it's not strong enough to be that. So it's almost like a weak Belgian double to me. It's just missing the mark somewhere. It's not anything. It's not hitting any characteristic really well. It's just kind of sliding in between all these different beer styles.
Yeah, I think flavor-wise, I actually really like it. It's not dry. It's not overly effervescent. It's got a nice residual sweetness with it, which makes it finish well. But like you said, I don't know if I could call it a stout.
Yeah.
I think I would maybe classify it more like a Belgian dark.
Yeah.
Something like that, like a dark strong, versus the stout. Like I don't get a lot of that stout character. And so it's really good. I just don't know if it's, I don't even know, like, I guess I'll say to style. I don't even know if that's a style. But
it's a unique style.
At least based on what I was expecting, I guess, from the name Belgian Stout. So
a style of their own.
Yeah.
Okay, so between these two first beers in the Fiserv Forum bracket, Tyler, where are you going?
Oh boy. I think out of the two, my choice is going to be the black IPA.
Okay.
I think that both of them are very good and enjoyable. I think that the smoothness of the dark malt in the black IPA, paired with that like a little more lingering bitter finish, is going to be my choice. So I'm going to go with the black IPA.
Okay. I'm going with you. I was hoping I would like this quite a bit. It is not as good as I was expecting. It's not matching any style that I can, recall as being. There's just no consistency here. I'm going to go with the black IPA as well. Perspective takes the first half of this bracket to me.
Yeah, clean sweep perspective kind of takes this one. It's not for a lack of effort on Infirmatorium's part. It's a good beer. For me, the black IPA is just a really good beer. I really like the flavor profiles that are coming out of that one, so that's why I'm picking that one.
Agreed. All right.
So what do we got in the back half?
On to the second half of the bracket. So we've got 1840 Brewing Company, which is Bayview, and one of your places that you love to visit. So this is called their Plumpy?
Yeah, so they do Plumpy every year, and they kind of switch up the different flavor profiles each year. So this is the latest iteration of it, which has... I forgot.
A whole bunch
of those raspberry, blueberry, boysenberry. It was like
it's all berries galore. It is a oat cream ale with red raspberry, blackberry, blueberry, boysenberry, and lactose. So lots of berries.
Yeah.
And if you look at this beer, you can tell there are a lot of berries in it. So very dark red, very thick. To the nose we go. You got to sniff it before we stick it.
Sniff it. Sip it. Sip it. You don't
Sip it.
You don't sniff it at all.
Oh, wait a second. I did not sign up for snipping.
Yeah, we're not sniffing anything today. To the nose we go.
There we go. Just edit
wow. That is fragrant.
That's really fruity. There isn't like a dominant fruit coming out. It's that I don't know what boysenberry smells like. I have no idea. But
I'm getting probably more like sour raspberry characters off the nose than anything else.
Berries galore.
Yeah. Just dark fruit.
Dark fruit.
All right.
Let's check it out. Cheers.
Ooh. So it's more tame on the palate than I was expecting, I think. Expecting much more of like a sweet kind of explosion of flavors. It's actually more tart for me. There's the sweetness there, but it's much more tart than I was expecting, and I mean, it's a good flavor profile. Just not what you expect based off what you're getting on the nose.
Yeah. It is tart. It is hard to discern the berries. I do think the raspberries playing the prominent character on the palate, similar to the nose. It's good. It almost tastes to me like a fruit smoothie versus a beer, which when you start to get in this fruited sour category, that's where you start to trend towards. It's very, very thick, very, very fruity. Borderline beer category to me.
Yeah, for sure. Like you guys said, I think it's got a good tartness, which I look for in a sour. I don't like the sours that are barely tart. I mean, let's go for it. Let's get it, let's get it nice and tart. But it has that backside sweetness to really clean it up and make it not too aggressive. To your point, the mouthfeel, I think, is from that oat cream. So that's why it's so hazy and gives that mouthfeel, which is kind of, I think, plays well with the acidity. Yeah, I think it's really good, and it got a lot of berry notes, and I'm curious how it stacks up to the next one.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Last but not least, we have got Supermoon Brewing here out of Milwaukee. They mostly brew Sizeons.
Correct. That's the thing.
So this is an interesting addition to the channel. I don't think we've done anything.
Never done a Sizeon.
Or a Sizeon,
Yeah,
probably.
so this is new to a couple of things.
Yeah, so this is gin oak barrel aged, I believe.
Yeah.
Gin barrel blended Sizeon. It's a farmhouse ale, dry hopped with Idaho 7 hops.
It's called There Is a Plot is the name. This is kind of a fun addition because, again, it's brand new for a couple of reasons, so
Yeah,
excited for this one.
get a little nose on it. Whoa.
So I'm going to be blunt here. I don't know enough about Saisons to fully understand what it is I'm getting out of that. I mean, it's a very distinct smell. And you smell a Saison, you know it's a Saison. I just don't know what causes that, what creates that profile out of it.
There's kind of like this just very sour, sweet character right on the nose. Almost like a funk.
Yeah.
I think it's like a yeast funk from the Saison right off the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like this kind of like hay, like farmhouse, barnyard kind of aroma, but it's also got that like tartness. Like it's got a little sourness on the nose too. Definitely from the yeast. So,
All right.
yeah.
Let's check it out.
Cheers.
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 Yikes. Hi, Maddie. Oh, is this the new drink we get to have? Cheers, everybody. There you go. Thank you.
This is hard. Again, I just don't know enough about Saisons to fully understand, or I guess a farmhouse ale, which is a relatively similar style. I just don't know enough about what causes the flavor profiles to come out. I mean, it's a dry beer, and you really have to be understanding this is going to be a dry beer, which I think a lot of that gin kind of characteristics is coming through. It's got that funkiness, kind of got that earthiness kind of coming through. It's good. It's just you really have to know what you're about to get to really enjoy this.
I will say, out of the four, I think this is the most complex beer as far as the journey that you go on as you taste it. To your point about it being dry, it's dry but also tannic. Like it has I'm assuming from the barrel, but also Saisons tend to finish pretty dry anyway, and so that backside sweetness is there's nothing to really clean it up, and you get that oak and the gin, the botanicals that go with that. Definitely very tannic.
I'm not a huge gin fan, so this is not quite hitting the notes that I want to see in a beer. It is dry. I think it's funky, it's dry. There's just a lot of characteristics to this that I feel like you have to this has to be something that you're looking forward to, or a beer style that you are into to really truly appreciate it. That's just my opinion.
I will be clear, this is not a miss. Like, this isn't on Supermoon. This is just definitely a niche style that you have to like.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. So, Josh, where are you going with this?
I'm going with 1840 just because, to Tyler's point, this is not my area. This is not something that I would reach for. And between these two, I would drink 1840 all day over this.
So, I'm actually going to take the Supermoon.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it. It's funny because I remember there was a day where if you had said, I hated Sizeons, I hate farmhouse ales. As I've gotten more and more used to them, I've found better breweries that do them. I've really appreciated them more and the complexity that's involved. And I like the dryness. I really actually do enjoy that dryness on this beer, which is why I'm going to take the Supermoon over the really good Plumpy. Like, it's not a lack of a bad beer. It's just one's better than the other for me.
Okay.
Right, and here I am with the decision.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. But, again, I like both of them. Both are very well-made beers, and I think I'm going to go with the Plumpy, though. Just because I'm not a fan of the dryness and the lingering flavor that kind of goes with it. I love the complexity, and it's definitely something outside of my norm, and so I like that aspect of it too. But the Plumpy is just super fruity, super just approachable, easy to drink, and so I'm going to go with the Plumpy.
All right.
Okay.
So we got to do one final taste in each, and then we got picks. So we got the Perspective Black IPA, the MKA2, versus the 1840 Fruit
Plumpy.
Sour, which is the Plumpy. So try each one real quick, and then...
These are very different beers.
Yeah.
Very. All four of these are very different beers.
Yeah, this is a good bracket. I like what we did here. We lucked out with this, so...
It's where they were drafted.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well, I will start. This really just comes down to a preference. They're both really good, and all four of these beers are good. This just comes down to a preference point for me. I'm going to take the Black IPA from Perspective. I just really like what they did with it. I like kind of the robustness. I like the smokiness that's coming out of it. So for me, it's just, that's what I'm going to take. So I'm going to go with Perspective.
Okay. Tyler?
All right. This is where it gets interesting. I am actually going to go with Plumpy. Because of just the flavor profile that's there. I really enjoy that. I think if it was a question of what of the two beers you could drink more of, it would be the Black IPA. I couldn't drink a lot of the Plumpy. But I think if you're talking just one isolated pint or whatever, I think that would be my choice.
All right.
Damn.
Joshua? No pressure.
Thank you for using my full name, by the way.
No problem.
Damn. Okay. So, these are both actually really good beers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm enjoying the Plumpy. I do think the Plumpy is probably more my style. That being said, I'm pretty impressed with what Perspective did with this Black IPA, and that is the direction I'm leaning. So I'm going to go Perspective and the Black IPA, taking the Fiserv Forum Quadrant of this bracket. I am blown away.
That is a plot twist, everyone.
By the fact that a Black IPA is advancing anywhere within this bracket. And it comes out of the Russian River Brewing
Yeah.
growler. So, good stuff. That is a couple of brackets down. You won't know which order because we're kind of flip-flopping which order we do all of this in. So you won't know until you watch all four. But this has been fun so far. Check us out on the rest of our social media channels. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on Untappd. We are also here on YouTube. So like, comment, subscribe. Find Nosy Neighbor at nosy_neighbor_brewing on Instagram.
Right.
And
Thank you. You nailed that.
hey, I got it. Thank you, Tyler, for hanging out with us and checking out some of these very interesting beers. with us in the bracket. And we'll see all of you in the next episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.